Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on The Merchant of Venice and we get to hear from Bassanio today in Act 3, Scene 2, which this particular scene takes place in Belmont, which is where Portia lives. And remember, men have been coming from all over the place to try to woo Portia, but anybody that wants to try to marry her has to pick which of these three boxes contains her picture. And we saw the Prince of Morocco pick the gold box and he was wrong, and we saw the Prince of Aragon choose the silver box and he was wrong. So you, the audience, probably can guess where the picture is, unless you think that this is like a wicked game of three-card Monte, that sort of a thing. But anyway, now it's Bassanio's turn to pick, and he doesn't know which box she's in, but he has a lot of faith that he knows, and he sort of had to convince Portia to let him do this now, because she's like, wait for like 2 months and we can just sort of hang out between now and then, and wouldn't that be lovely? And he's like, no, but I'm going to do this now. So yesterday she was calling for music, because if you pick the wrong box, you have to leave immediately. And when the Prince of Aragon picked the silver box and was wrong, it almost sounded like he's not allowed to woo any other woman anywhere, which could be a whole other story. I don't know. And like, what happens to the Prince of Aragon and the Prince of Morocco? Like, where do they go? Does the Prince of Aragon go like to Middle Earth and go on a quest about a ring or something? I don't know. But anyway, that's not this story. This story is Portia wanting to marry Bassanio, but needing him to pick the right box first. So yesterday she was like, go do it, mwah! And she asked for music to play. So music has been playing, and it's got very, very poignant lyrics. And as the music is playing, Bassanio goes to the boxes, because of course he's not just going to walk up and be like, this one. He has to tell us his reasoning first. So in order to tell us his reasoning, he says, so may the outward shows be least themselves. The world is still deceived with ornament. In law, what plea so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with a gracious voice, obscures the show of evil? In religion, what damned error but some sober brow will bless it and approve it with a text, hiding the grossness with fair ornament? There is no voice so simple, but assumes some mark of virtue on his outward parts. How many cowards, whose hearts are all as false as stairs of sand, wear yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars, who, inward searched, have livers white as milk, and these assume but valor's excrement to render them redoubled. Look on beauty, and you shall see 'tis purchased by the weight, which therein works a miracle in nature, making them lightest that wear most of it. So are those crisped, snaky, golden locks, which make such wanton gambols with the wind, upon supposed fairness, often known to be the dowry of a second head, the skull that bred them in the sepulchre. Thus, ornament is but the gullied shore to a most dangerous sea, the beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty. In a word, the seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. Therefore, then, thou gaudy gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee, nor none of thee, thou pale and common drudge, tween man and man, but thou meager lead, which rather threatenest than dost promise aught. Thy paleness moves me more than eloquence. And here choose I. Joy be the consequence. So this is a very long speech about how you can't judge a book by its cover. That's really all that he's saying here. He's saying so many people get fooled by beauty, and somebody in court just says something the right way and a guilty person can be set free. Or as long as a person who is religious asks for forgiveness with some hint of kindness, then their sin is washed away. They say their prayers and like they're done. And he's like, there's so many people out there who will tell you that they're the best and the bravest and the brightest and all that sort of thing, who wouldn't actually go to war or stand up for their loved ones or do all this sort of thing. They just look the part. This is so poignant. I'm sorry. I can't even. It's still very true today that so many people are distracted by beauty that they fail to see anything else, and they give so much more leeway to beautiful people than they do to non-traditionally beautiful people. So, but Bassanio is smarter than that. So he's like, gold box, you're pretty, so no. Silver box, you're pretty, so no. Give me the lead box. I choose the lead box, and I really, really hope that Portia is in it. And tomorrow, we get the monologue wherein he describes the contents of the leaden box. So I know you're all in suspense because you haven't figured it out yet, but yeah, tomorrow we get to know for sure what's in the lead box, what happens to this whole Bassanio-Portia thing. And yeah, there's still a lot of story left to go though, so stick around. I'll see you tomorrow when we learn this bit so we can get on to all the other bits, because there's still that outstanding pound of flesh thing that we need to deal with. So I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.